Hello and welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. This is a story about the Blackpool Tower, and it's about the steelwork and the fourth bridge job to repair it, and whether or not we might see a bandage. Do you remember the bandage? So make sure that you've subscribed to Visit Fylde Coast, make sure that you've hit the bell for notifications, make sure that you've signed up for your Visit Fylde Coast email newsletter, and then you'll get all the latest updates straight into your inbox and you'll know exactly what's happening. So let's go and see what we can see. So in a minute you'll probably be able to hear the sound of an air compressor as the workmen start to gear up for whatever it is that they're doing today. So there's £11 million worth of steelwork. Can you hear it? There it goes. There's £11 million worth of steelwork. So apparently the lift shaft and the steelwork of the 518-foot attraction has already been replaced in many parts, and I know that because I went up in the new lift last year. And they spent £1 million on restoration of the ceiling at the Blackpool Tower Circus before the 2022 season began. So it's constantly being repaired. So it's a bit like the fourth bridge. And the works to the Tower Eye, which is of course the bit at the top, are being done out of the main visitor season where possible, so that it's not necessary to keep shutting the attraction. And it's hoped to minimise the visual impact of the scaffolding this time around. So hopefully it will look as gorgeous as it does now, and there won't be another bandage back on the Blackpool Tower. Because it would be a shame, wouldn't it, to put all that scaffolding and wrapping back on it again. So they're doing all kinds of stuff. To it. So they're removing the existing stair structure and making it good. They're putting steel, concrete and paint renewal works into the lift shaft and pit. They are replacing individual steel components and members and connections across the entire structure. They're replacing secondary steel elements, repainting the structure, removing redundant items such as secondary steel and other miscellaneous bits and bobs, and replacing ladder platforms and landings and associated steelwork. And last but not least, they are repairing and repair and renewal of concrete structural elements. The paint is developed by Ovarup, and it's supposed to have a life of 20 years. So that'll be interesting. I can't see anything having a life of 20 years on this seafront, to be honest. It's so brutal, that weather. I think the Woolworths clock needs putting right. It's quite wrong today. It's a fabulous structure, isn't it? To think that it's been standing there for all this time. Well over 100 years. And if you saw the video last week of the tide, when it was windy and stormy, oh, it was lovely. So I hope you've enjoyed that little look at the tower, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.